What is going on, everyone? My name is Andy. Welcome back to another FPL video. In this one, it's kind of final thoughts-ish, right? Because I might change my mind by tomorrow, deadline stream and all that. I might have a sudden wish to go massively punty with my transfers. But obviously, we're in a situation where Bamford's been ruled out. Rafinha looks like a bit of a risk now as well. Yesterday, I talked about it in the game week preview, but it was kind of like an instant reaction. I've had a bit of time to think about it a little bit more because, I mean, there's a lot of options you could go for, right? For either of these players. Obviously, for those of you, I'll just bring up my team now. This is going to be like a one-take thing, quite casual. For those of you that don't have Saar, or maybe don't have Benrahma like me, I mean, maybe Rafinha is an easy transfer, especially if you don't own Bamford as well. My main thinking with them is, if you're wildcarding in game week 8, if you're locking that in, then it seems to make sense to probably get rid of them. I mean, it's a bit annoying to have to get rid of either of these players before they play Watford at home. But if there's a chance that they miss longer, and I don't have any inside information or any of that, I wish I did because it would make my life so much easier. But it looks like Bamford's definitely ruled out this week. Is he going to be back straight away? There's a few rumours going around, but I don't know if these are rumours started by FPL accounts that have then been taken on by other FPL accounts, but that he could be out a couple of weeks, right? Or even a month rather than just missing this week. That would be big, and that makes me more kind of likely to get rid of him. By the way, that is not confirmed news. I don't know where the source came from. It could be a load of rubbish. With Rafinha, it's a bit more hopeful, right? Because he could play this week, even if it is just like another 60, 65 minutes kind of move. But if you are going to wildcard in game week 8, it almost feels like it makes sense just to sell at least one. Whether or not you should do both of them for a hit, that's going to depend on your bench. If you've got a decent bench, I don't think there's really a need to get rid of Rafinha, which is what I'm going to come on to in a second for my own team. But yeah, with Bamford, you're definitely going to miss West Ham, and then you kind of just bet on the fact that he might miss Watford as well, possibly before the international break. And if you're wildcarding over the international break, you can make a choice then about whether to get them back or not. You're not really worried about it. In terms of replacements for Bamford, I've kind of nailed it. I definitely kind of got it down to kind of 3 positions, right? So, I mean, if I didn't have Antonio, I probably would have already done Bamford to Antonio, to be completely honest with you. It's such an obvious move. And then, obviously, there's lots of strikers, and I think the rest of it kind of depends on where you're at in terms of transfers going forward, when you're going to wildcard, whether you've already used it and stuff like that. So I still haven't completely ruled out Jimenez. I know people are obviously frustrated with no return so far, especially if you already bought him in. His expected goal per 90 is a little bit lower than what we've expected from him in previous seasons. Obviously, he has been out for a while, so it probably does take some time to readjust. He has had quite a few shots, but the quality of those shots hasn't necessarily been great. The thing I like about him is Southampton away and Newcastle at home is not a bad set of kind of 2 fixtures ahead of a wild card. And then if you do bring him in, and he does do really well, then it could maybe allow you to put the wild card off because you can just hold him through Villa and Leeds and Everton and Palace and West Ham and Norwich, right? Which is a really good fixture run. So you're kind of hedging your bets a bit. You've got a kind of 2-week punt. And if it doesn't work out, you wild card, you get rid of him. If he's not showing any signs of scoring, you just get rid of him and you go for something different on the wild card. And if he does, it maybe gives you the option to it maybe gives you the option to hold on to him. And like a lot of people are saying when he hasn't scored and stuff like this, and I know Saar scored in game week 1, but a lot of people were saying similar things about him last week. And the fixtures are there for Wolves. The goals are going to come. I don't think he's ever a striker that we're expecting kind of, 12, 13, 14, 15 pointers from. He can do it. We've seen it before. But you're not going to get that very, very much or very often. But a goal and a bonus point, or a goal and a couple of bonus points for 7.5 minutes, it would be all right if you could just do that a few more times over the next few weeks. So I haven't completely ruled him out. If I knew I was wildcarding in game week 8, and by the way, I'm kind of talking about my team, but this applies to people that are doing it as well. Who know they're wildcarding in game week 8. So this applies to your transfers as well. If I knew that I was going to wildcard in game week 8, then taking a punt on Rodrigo might not be such a bad idea. Like he started 4 out of 5 matches. Problem is, only got 45 minutes. I think he started that Man United match. Obviously didn't play against Everton, but he started the last 3. And he got 90 minutes against Newcastle. And with Bamford out, there is a chance that he starts up front. And even if he doesn't play up front, he should play just behind in those kind of number 8 positions. So he could now be a better option with Bamford out, especially if he goes and plays up front. Like his minutes expectations have got to be higher. And if Bamford does miss game week 7, then you get him for Watford as well. And then look, you can take him out in the wildcard if it doesn't completely work out. So I kind of like him as a punt. The other kind of punty option is if we get any news, and I'd really need to know 100% he was starting, is Iheanacho for Leicester. Burnley at home, Palace away, 2 good fixtures. We know how good he was last year. Leicester haven't really got going so far this year. If there was any, noise from someone reliable on Twitter that he was starting, 2.6% ownership, only 7.1 million, 2 good fixtures to come, and even if you didn't wildcard and you wanted to keep him, okay, Man United's not great, but then it's Brentford, Arsenal, Leeds, so it's not even that bad of a fixture run, and we know how good his numbers were last year. So him and Rodrigo are kind of the two that are top of my punt list. Like Chris Wood and players like that, I know I missed them out on the game week preview, but I'm just not really that interested in them, to be completely honest, because I don't think they're nice long-term holds. And for a 2-week punt, I really want to go for a Burnley striker. He'll probably make me eat my words, but probably not right now. So I'm thinking Jimenez just looks like a nice, keep the same structure, move him across to Bamford. You've always got the get out that you can go back to Bamford when he's fit. And then Rodrigo and Iheanacho as punts. Or the longer term move could be someone cheaper, right? So then people are looking at Pukki, St. Maximin and Armstrong. I would probably go for Armstrong out of the 3 of them. Pukki is close, I think. Everton, Burnley are not bad fixtures. Brighton's not that bad either. Leeds. I mean, they've got, this fixture run here is pretty nice. And he is on penalties as well. And Chelsea away is the only hard fixture. So I don't completely hate it. But I think whichever player I brought in, I probably wouldn't want to keep all that way anyway. Because Tony, obviously, his fixtures from kind of game week 9 onwards are good. So I'd possibly be looking at him. So right now, I'm not thinking about Pukki. I'm actually thinking about Adam Armstrong. Now, let's see if I make this a bit bigger. Wolves at home is fine. Chelsea away is obviously difficult, but then the fixtures are really good. Anyone that's wildcarding in game week 8, if they're keeping a 3-striker setup, I guarantee they'll be looking at Adam Armstrong. And Leeds, Burnley, Watford, Villa, Norwich are pretty good fixtures. It's about as good a fixture run as you can get. So kind of 6 of the next 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yeah, I counted correctly, are really good fixtures. And it's only Chelsea away. It's just annoying that it's 2 games' time. What that kind of lets you do, though, is possibly hold on to the game week 8 wildcard, right? And again, it's not that I'm afraid to wildcard or that I don't want to use it. I know a lot of people will be looking at my team saying I need to use it, but I really don't think that's the case, even with these flags. Because I swap Bamford, I keep Rafinha, and then hopefully someone from my bench comes on. Probably not Ayling, maybe Basuma if he's fine. So it's not that I'm trying to actively not use it. But once you do this move, it frees up a lot of money. So straight away, next week, you've got 2.3 million to upgrade a defender. So that's Ayling to a Chelsea defender. I don't know exactly which one right now. That's a worry for next week. This week's bad enough. That's game week 7. So I've got 1 Chelsea defender in for that. Game week 8, you make the Ronaldo switch to Lukaku. Or that move could wait till game week 9. And then you've still got the money, 2 million, to upgrade another defender. Or just Luke Shaw to another Chelsea defender. But I just think, even when I'm saying this out loud, I just feel like I'm prolonging the inevitable. I don't think Greenwood's a great long-term hold. I think I wouldn't be getting rid of him for Villa. And if it looks like he's going to start in game week 7 as well, I probably wouldn't let's get rid of him. But a reset here looks pretty good. So then already I've got to deal with him. I've got to get Lukaku in, another Chelsea defender. Rafinha is even going to be fit. So I'm definitely not wildcarding this week, but I'm starting to come around to the terms of the fact I'm probably going to have to wildcard in game week 8, in which case we're only looking at the next 2 weeks. So Jimenez and Rodrigo suddenly go straight to kind of my shopping list, and Adam Armstrong can wait until I wildcard in game week 8, and then I'll probably look to bring him in. So I'm almost certainly gonna sell Bamford this week. My team just can't take a bench in. I've seen quite a few teams out there on Twitter that have got like a good backup. But I think Bamford has to go. There's no doubt in my mind that I'm going to sell him. I'm just not 100% sure who for. Part of me just wants to go for Jimenez. I just think 1 goal, and who knows what that could open up then. And again, everyone was saying Sarr was crazy. Now everybody's trying to bring him in. All it will take is a goal or 2 from Jimenez, and then suddenly it'll be like, well, we should have just stuck with the 3 strikers up front, etc. So he's the one I'm leaning towards right now and keeping Rafinha. If you're selling Rafinha this week, I'll just touch on that now because a lot of people are looking into it. Sarr looks like a great bet. Forget about this whole he's only good for 2 fixtures. I really think Newcastle, Leeds, Everton and Southampton are all fine. I'm not saying that Everton and Southampton are perfect fixtures, but if you're looking at a fixture run with 4 fairly okay fixtures out of 5 and thinking that's bad, then I just think there's not very many fixture runs you're ever going to be able to target. He's going to play 90 minutes, nailed on. I think Sarri is perfect. I also think Benrahma is decent as well if you don't own him. Like, if I got news that Rafinha wasn't going to play, I'd probably just bring Benrahma straight back in, to be completely honest with you. Leeds and Brentford are good, and we know how many injury concerns Leeds have got. Everton away is good. Villa away is not too bad either. And who knows with Spurs at home, the way West Ham are playing. Like, they're a decent team, so they could do something there. The other players that I would be looking out for soon are Arsenal players. Not necessarily Kolasinac, mind you. But maybe not for Spurs and Brighton, but from Palace, Villa, Leicester, Watford, then Newcastle. Liverpool away is the only tough game in this little run here. I think someone like Saka or Pepe could be decent. The only reason I'm kind of not necessarily against bringing them in now, like if I was on a wild card, I might do it now. It's just I don't know who's going to play week to week. Like if Smith Rowe's got to fit in there and Aubameyang's up front, so let's say Smith Rowe plays off the left, Odegaard plays middle, 10, and then on the right you've got Pepe or Saka. Or maybe one of those could play on the left instead of Smith Rowe. But are they going to rotate? And that's kind of what I want to see over the next couple of weeks. Like, Pepe has played 4 times out of 5, which is nice, and 90 minutes each time. Saka's minutes, again, last 2 played 90 minutes. And last season, he was pretty much nailed. So I don't even mind, like, an Arsenal attacker as a replacement for Rafinha. But right now, I'm just thinking, hold on to him. Hope he plays, and then if he does and he's fit, it's Watford at home. Obviously, it's not ideal if Bamford misses out, but Rafinha still needs someone to play the ball to and play off, and Bamford's great for that. So Leeds will be a slightly worse team without him, but I think Watford at home is still a chance for good points. So I'm probably going to keep him. But that's my thoughts on Rafinha and Bamford. I've not made the moves yet. I'm not pretending this is a team reveal or anything like that. But I'm definitely selling Bamford. For those of you thinking about taking both out for a -4, I'd only do that if you had a really weak bench. Like, I'm even thinking of keeping Rafinha, and my best hope is probably Basuma. So who knows? Maybe by tomorrow I'll have rethought and I'll take the hit for Benrahma because I've just sold him last week and I'm a little bit worried about what he might do to me. But yeah, I'm going to -4. I don't think my team needs a wild card. I think Greenwood, Antonio, Sarr, Benrahma, etc. have all got really good fixtures for the next 2. And by game week 8, I might have completely changed my mind about stuff. And maybe it'll be 3 premiums with Kevin De Bruyne, and maybe it'll be 3 premiums with Ronaldo, Lukaku, and Salah. Who knows? Maybe I'll go 4 at the back. But in 2 weeks' time, like I said, the whole thought process might change. Plus, it's international break, so it's kind of nice to wildcard over there. So I think I'll kind of come around to it. But anyway, that's just some late evening thoughts on a Friday. If you enjoyed it, give it a like, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you tomorrow morning for the deadline stream.